So welcome back to the HKF podcast. So today we're really lucky, we've got a really special guests on the podcast today. I think when we talk about supporting each other, it's really important that we do, support as much as we can, Sikh businesses or anyone that's doing any type of, sewa for the pant, because in a way it's definitely a sewa as well. So today we have the Nishaani team with us. I'm sure everyone's seen them on social media and everyone's supporting them. They do a lot of different things, which I'm sure they'll get into today. But firstly, just to kind of start off, we'd love to just ask, just for anyone that's listening that maybe hasn't heard about Nishaani before, just to kind of give them an idea of who Nishaani is and what they do.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So Nishaani is a streaming service. So think Netflix, think Disney Plus, but it's a streaming service for Sikh content. And so we built it from the ground up to help us distribute content that is Sikhi related. It's very high quality content, and we go through everything and make sure that it's correct, but it's also got that level of kind of education behind it as well. And they tend to be Sikhi related, so there's some stuff that is kind of more inspirational, but not directly related to Sikhi. So it's all intents and purposes it's a Sikh streaming platform.
And in terms of this idea of a streaming platform, and then like you said, Sikhi based content, where did that kind of idea come from? Is it something that you have a background in, or Hansi?
So I guess I'll say I'm a software engineer by trade, so in software in general I have kind of a lot of experience, but my kind of thought process behind I think Nishaani itself was having content that was readily available, making sure that it's on a platform that is secure, and also making sure that the content creators that are on there can also be remunerated. They can actually have some level of finance coming back to them so they can make more content for us. And I think that's a big problem that we have in our community, where we don't actually have those.
That's definitely
true. We don't have the funding to do.
You probably guys are the
projects.
first ones that did something like that.
Yeah.
Hanji, so Benji, do you want to just add to that in terms of in terms of the platform, like you said, so what type of kind of content can we see on the platform?
Yeah, so there's a wide variety of content that you can see on Nishaani. It's like Kashkaran said, it's always going to be Sikhi related, whether that's learning about Sikhi or whether that is inspiring you towards Sikhi. It's going to be high quality. There's going to be a range from Kirtan, there's going to be documentaries, there's going to be animations particularly directed at children. There are live recorded samagams as well, so you can revisit samagams that you may have visited, which is absolutely lovely. There's going to be meditations as well, so if you're looking for something more spiritual, if you're looking for a way to connect to Sikhi and Guru Sahib, there's going to be ways that you can be influenced on Nishaani as well. So it's quite holistic in that way. There's going to be something for everybody. There's going to be, I know at the moment, you might see the animation characters and think instantly it's for children. It's not just for children. There's something for everybody. So there's going to be something there for the young ones. There's going to be something there for the teens. I think, and it's really important that sometimes we forget the teens. It's so easy to devise the books, the cartoons for the young ones. And then when you get to that sort of teen and tween years, it's like you kind of get lost because your interests change. I'm quite lucky, talking from personal experience, my daughter's now almost 12. And, she's gone away from the cartoons now and she wants something more. And Nishaani has something for her. There's dharmic songs, there's inspirational songs, there's conscious music as well. So those things will cover our turbulent past as a Sikh community. It will touch on those difficulties that we've had in the past. It will inspire you and the teens as to how they can overcome those problems in their daily, because that's where sort of our problems start when we're sort of in that age range. And she absolutely loves Nishaani, and that's taking away the fact that we've created it as a family. She loves it because I'll often say, do you want to put some music on? And she's straight on Nishaani. She's watching rappers and singers that look like her mamaji, and she's just like, oh my god, it's just amazing, and that inspires her because she's like, I'm not alone. There's people out there in the world that look like me, look like my family, and that's quite inspirational. As adults, you know, myself, there's Nanak Naam, for example, on there. Love listening to their meditations, and that inspires me. And then obviously for our mature generation as well, there's so much Kirtan, you know, particularly from Kirtan Fire at the moment. There's just a vast amount, which is just so wonderful. So I think the content per se is just something for everybody. And I think what's really important to say as well is that it's not just for whether you're, you know, really deeply into Sikhi at the moment. Like if you're Amritdhari, it's not just for Amritdharis. There's something there if you're at the very beginning of your journey into Sikhi. There's something there if you're in the middle, and there's something there if you kind of got to the point where, you know, Maharaj has blessed you with Amrit and you're there. You know, there's something for you as well. So no matter which stage you're at, there is something there for you.
That's really good to hear. You know, I loved how you said, you know, teen and like 20s, like they have something to go as well, because that's our focus as well, youth, because we've seen youth going back from Sikhi, like going to other stuff. They don't want to be like in Sikhi anymore. So that's our focus as well, and I love to see. And obviously we will like tell everyone at Google that we know like there is something you can go to as well. It's not in Sangat online. Like they do say like we don't have anything online, we don't know where to go. I would like, you do now.
And I think what it is that we've tried to improve the accessibility of Nishaani as well. So obviously it started off as just being web-based, so you can only access it on your, you know, you can access it via the website, on your phone and things, but now we have the apps as well. So you can now have the app on your phone as well, and it's just improved that sort of accessibility as well. So you can listen to it on the go, you can listen to it on the bus when you're going to school or coming back from university or in the car. So that accessibility is improving as well.
And I think definitely, you know, we talk about like, you've obviously covered all the different, you know, the age ranges and the audience, but it's like, you know, when we talk about like, it's very easy, like kids are going to have access, and we all have access to our phones, and we waste time and we watch movies and we're on Netflix, and it's something that's become a habit. But like, if we have, you know, Sikhi based platforms where, you know, kids are on their phones, or, you know, adults they have somewhere to go where they can listen to, where they can watch different videos, and, you know, how we can utilize, you know, the technology that we do have today in a more positive way. Like you said, everyone's on their own journey in Sikhi, how we can get closer to Maharaj, and, you know, this is one way. Again, I would say it's like a type of prachar as well. Obviously everyone that's on there is inspiring someone, whoever that is. And in terms of Baisabji, you said that, you know, you're a graphic designer. So how long did it like take to like set up Nishaani?
So I mean, we did quite an accelerated process, I'd say. So like generally, like software takes a long time to develop. So we started in October 2020, I think it was, and we were like, okay, well, we need to get something off the ground. And so we started designing it. We started building out the software itself. Well, we were launched middle of December, so it was about a month and a half that we took to kind of really build it, and we really wanted to kind of make sure something was out there quickly. It's probably like done really well, like in terms of how much effort we put into it to make sure that it's kind of it's a solid product. Our main kind of focus was to make sure that it's privacy and security conscious. So, like from our perspective, like you talked about some like content from our turbulent past. Some of that content isn't allowed on certain platforms, right? And we wanted to make sure we had a platform where we can put whatever we want on there, and nobody's going to say, no, you can't have that. So, for example, I think like Prime Video are one of the people who kind of distribute content, Netflix distribute content, but they have rules about what you can distribute on their platforms. And so from our perspective, like if it's secure related, we need to make sure we have something on there. So we need to get it out there quite quickly and make sure that it's available. Like you said, it's prachar. We want to make sure that prachar can get out to everybody. And it was very important that it wasn't misinformation. If you look at it, our parents, who maybe they're on YouTube, maybe they're on WhatsApp, and the amount of stuff that they get. And I mean, my mother-in-law, my dad will send me a message, oh, this ganda will help you or something like that, right? You get really weird stuff coming through. But some of it's wrong, and the most important thing we can do is make sure that the content that is on Nishaani is correct and is factual. And we've already heard problems like in India and Punjab where the books themselves are going wrong.
That's true.
And there's so much misinformation being pumped out. So if we can control our narrative, we own the platforms, the Sangat and the community are creating the content, then that now becomes less of an issue, and we can help in that respect.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's really important that we have that control as a community. I think our past just goes to show how difficult it is for us to get what we need in terms of justice, in terms of rights, etc. And until we can sort of stand on our own 2 feet and say, right, we're going to go and do X, we're going to go and do Y. We don't need to turn to other people to solve our problems. We can stand up and solve our own problems and strengthen ourselves as a community, look after our youth, as things like the projects that yourselves are doing, look after our youth, look after our elders, and sort of strengthen ourselves. So yeah, it was really it kind of came about quite quickly, and he got it out really, really quickly. Obviously, I had no hand in the development side of things. That was all down to him. But once you get focused on something, we do get it out quite quick. He got it out really, really swiftly, and it's a really great design. I was really impressed with him. He might be my brother, but I was really impressed with that.
I think we have our families as well to thank for
yes,
that.
absolutely.
They make a huge sacrifice to be like, well, you can go off and go do this, you can spend this time doing this, and I think they've obviously made some sacrifices there to make sure we can get things out, but it's a worthwhile cause, and we want to make sure that the Sangat can have something that's got that longevity, is able to watch something and learn something. Like I said, from young age to older age and also that middle ages, that I think that's the most difficult age that we go through as Sikhs. So we decide to kind of pull ourselves away, but having something there that allows you to come back to it and enjoy something that's Sikhi related, I think is really important.
Very much.
And I think it's easy, obviously, like a lot of people have ideas, but then there might be some youth that are listening thinking, I can develop apps and I have this thing that I'm really good at. But like you said, it took you a month and a half. But for anyone that's listening thinking, now I'm getting inspired, I want to design the new app, what steps do they need to take in order to kind of get it out there? Because it's easy saying that I have this expertise, but then putting it out there and pushing it to Sangat. So how did that process work, getting it out to the Sangat, and the response also from the Sangat as well?
I mean, I'd say this, this isn't my kind of first time I've done it. We've done a few things in the past, but I think having the support there from your family, the Sangat, is essential. You won't have heard anything else that I've done, but you've heard of Nishaani because we have somebody like my sister who's able to kind of help out with marketing and things like that. You need to kind of make sure you have that holistic team together, would be one thing I'd say. Find the people who you can work well with. But in general, if you're interested in it, so I don't know if I've done Nitane maps in the past. We've done we used to do some sewa in London during the Majada. We used to kind of get content ready for that as well. So in the past we've done things, and I think that's the key word, doing. You can plan until the cows come home, but unless you do something, you won't be able to do it. So doesn't matter how long it takes, you just start doing something. I remember the first app I made was just PDF files on a piece of software, and we called it I Nitane, and that was out, and people watched it, people read from it, and it was just something that was out there. And I think that's really important. But it's not just myself who's doing things. We've got Sikhi Netflix, we've got iGurbani, we've got so many apps out there now. But we just need to kind of get people, I think, pushing the boundaries now of what we can do, and rather than just focusing on Gurbani searching apps. I think we just need to get people doing other things as well. We've got great people like Keep Them Fire who are really focused in on high fidelity sound, and those files are huge. We know we have to try and upload them and download them. So he spends a lot of time focusing on quality of the sound of the Keep and the video itself. I think the more people we get in this space, it'll get better for our community. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's great if somebody, some youth sitting at home are inspired by what we're talking about here. At the end of the day, Nishaani is a platform that doesn't rely on any externals, in a sense of it's not something where we turn to a third party to pay them to create this. Something as a community somebody has created. from your community that looks like you, and that is really inspiring. I mean, we recently went to Artham Academy in down south, and and one of the children put their hand up. We just talking to them about Nishaani really and what we've created, and he put his hand up and he was like, are you seriously telling me that you've created a Netflix for Sikh? And we're like, well, he was really humble, and he was like, well, and I was like, and I piped up and I was like, yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
And we hadn't expected that part of it. We hadn't expected to inspire the next generation from that end of things. We were planning and hoping we would inspire them to Sikhi, but we didn't realise that we could, with this project, inspire them in that sense that they can do these things. If someone that looks like them can create Sikhi Netflix, well, what else could I do? And I think that's fantastic, because like Pushkaran said, we need more of us in a wide variety of areas. More technology is not going away. It's here to stay. We might as well decide how we're going to utilize it to better ourselves for personal growth, how we're going to better ourselves in terms of connecting to Guru Sahib and to Sikhi, and how it's going to improve our lives. We need to make those decisions, and and as the adults of the community, it's up to us to kind of now navigate how that's going to progress, so that the youngsters can be like, oh no, they can be inspired and they can move in those directions. So yeah, I think obviously I don't do the technical side of things, but there is a lot that I've had to learn on this journey as well. I'm a pharmacist by my day job, so this has got nothing to do with pharmacy. But I think what it was is, for me, even on that journey, I always wanted to go out there and help and support. And even from my end, it wasn't always necessarily about everybody. It was about, I wanted to support my community. I always wanted to work in an area where I could help our Bajurg who were coming into the pharmacy. And it didn't pan out in that way. I never, for some reason, whatever reason, Guru Sahib didn't put me in those places where I could help our community. But now I'm hoping that this is the turnaround. Guru Sahib's put me in this place, and he's put this idea in our head, in our laps, and he said, right, you guys go through with this now. This is the idea that I'm giving, this is the purpose that I'm giving you, to inspire the community, and hopefully bring ourselves, certainly from my perspective, bring me closer to Sikhi in my journey, and also maybe if we can help anybody else along the way as well.
And that's beautiful to see. We need more youth to give it back to the Panth, because the Shaheed Singhs and Gurus have done so much for us. We need to give it back, and this is the right thing. We can use social media as well.
I mean, I think you're right. I think I wouldn't say you haven't done anything. When we have headaches and stuff, you do help us in advance. No, but I think generally from an elder's perspective as well, if you think about our parents, things like that, they came here with nothing. They set up Gurdwara, they set up the foundations that we have today.
Definitely.
And that's why we're able to do these things, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do these things. Either we'd be going back and trying to build the Gurdwara and make sure we got that foundation in. And that's why I think things like this as well, where we can kind of talk about what's going on. There's so many people out there who are doing really cool things, and if we can talk about it, I think it's really important.
It's our responsibility, it's now, it's in our hands. We need to do something as well. Absolutely. We've had we were discussing this the other day, and the Shaheed Singhs have done this much, Gurus have done this much, our parents what are we doing now? We need to do something as well. We need to create history as well.
100%. I mean, I think there's something been going through my mind recently, and I think I mentioned it to you a couple of days ago. I was like, the things that Guru Sahib went through, the things that Sahibjade did for us, the things that the Singhs and Singhniya of the past did for us, and the battles they faced. We are so lucky that we don't have to go through those battles. Our battles are different. And we have the same responsibility to fight those battles and to succeed like they did, and their inspiration is what carries us through. So it's absolutely our responsibility. I think a lot of the time you just think, in our Sikhi, why do we always have these troubles? We always never seem to have an easy time. But you know what? That's what makes us. That is what how he put us on this planet to do, we will do as he says. We will fight these battles and we'll come out stronger the other side. So
mostly battles in Kali Yuga, more like from the society. Not gonna lie, don't be scared if you're judged. Like, stand up for yourself, stand up for Sikhi.
Yeah.
That's our battles nowadays, because we know no one's gonna come and like attack us right now. Like, we're sitting here, no one's gonna come and attack us.
No.
Like, in that time, if someone was sitting there so sick, that's it, that's done. They'll attack them. We don't have those battles. We have more mentally battles that we need to fight with ourselves mostly.
Sure, definitely.
And I think, when you talk about, like, no one's going to come and, preserve our history for us, or, give us their platforms if we think that, it is hard. Even though, like, we're living in 2024 now, and we think people are more accepting, there still is that sense of, there is still that difference. It's hard still, and it is hard for the upcoming youth as well. And that's why we do have a lot of issues. But, knowing that, we have a platform where, you can go and you can, like Baji, like you said, like, you have no restrictions, as in anyone can come and, like, Sikhi-wise or whatever, they can post their content and it doesn't really matter. Like, you have your own space. I think it's really important that, like, anyone that has any ideas that they want to do this or they want to do that, and like you said, like, linking it back to Sikhi, how you can give back, and using whatever you're good at, like, and linking it to Sikhi, like this platform that's been created. I think a lot of people might not even know about it till this day, because we're living in this world where it's just copy and paste. We're happy with whatever we have already. Yeah. We don't want to go and find anything new, yet sometimes we do have raise questions and we say there's not enough for us, but there is a lot of sewa that's going on. So in terms of, like, anybody that wanted to, is listening to the podcast and they're hearing about Nishaani and, they want to join, or they want to, where can they find, I know you said there's an app, but how does the process work in terms of them signing up or joining as a listener? Yeah,
so if anybody's interested, hopefully everybody's interested in joining Nishaani, so basically it's nishaani.com. And you can subscribe to Nishaani. It is a paid service. It's really reasonable. It's $3.99 for a month. So monthly you can subscribe. $3.99. Yeah, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that these days. And then if you want to subscribe annually, you do save, and that's $39.99. So that would be how you subscribe. So you just set up like you would normally Netflix or Disney Plus or anything like that. Subscribe, and then once you're subscribed, you have full access on the website. It's really important for me to say as well, this is a worldwide app as well. So it's something that you can get here, America, Canada, anywhere in the world. You can get it while you're on the go. You can even join the Wi-Fi on an airplane and watch it on the airplane if you want. That's what I did recently while I was working. And then you can download the app from the App Store, Android or iOS, and then you can have it on your tablet, you can have it on your phone, you can access it pretty much in almost any device that can access the internet. You can also, at the moment, watch it on your smart TV by casting, mirroring from your device as well. That's where it is. I think it's really important for also the Sangha to realise and know sort of really the fundamental reasons why we created Nishaani. And one of the three main reasons, one was to bring all the content together on one platform, so that it's easy to discover. I think growing up, or sort of as a parent, didn't always necessarily know what to show my daughter and where to go, what's available, what's appropriate for her. And so the only option we had was YouTube. And in hindsight, that was the wrong decision to make, to give my daughter YouTube at such a young age. But that was how she was going to discover and learn about Sikhi. We lived in an area where there were no Sikh, so even Gurdwara Sahib was about an hour away. So YouTube was really helpful in that sense. And so the fact that Nishaani is now available as an alternative is fantastic. So first and foremost, it was created for that reason, so it could bring all that content together in one place. Secondly, it was about the privacy and the security end of things. I think in these times where we're concerned about social media, where we're concerned about our privacy and our security, it's really important that we're viewing our content in a safe space, and that's what Nishaani is. It has profiles, just like Netflix does, just like Disney Plus does, and they can be age appropriate as well. So if your little child is only able to through their profile they can only access Sikhi and animations, and then your older child may be able to watch something more so, which may have a more serious tone, may have a more mature theme, always be Sikhi related, but you as a parent or you as an adult will decide when it's appropriate for your children to watch that. So we have watched every single piece of content and given it an age rating, which the likes of YouTube doesn't have. You don't know what your child's watching or what they're going to watch next. What's the next suggestion going to be? You also don't know what the ads are going to be about. Sometimes the ads are highly inappropriate for their age, but also inappropriate for our values as well. Our community has different values to the wider community. So it was really important that those ads were not there while we're watching Kirtan, while we're watching things that are Sikhi related. So the privacy and security element was really important to us. And then thirdly, it was about giving back to the content creators. Now, I think we've touched on that briefly already, but it was really important for us to give back to the content creators. They're creating this amazing content to bring us closer to Sikhi. They're often doing it in their spare time. They're often doing it off their own expense. They don't have anybody giving them lots of money to do these things. They're following their passion, they're following their dream. They're often holding down a full-time job at the same time. I know because I'm talking to them, and they just don't have the time. They don't have the time to do anything else. Their plates are full. We have a responsibility as a community to support them. And through Nishaani, we wanted to make sure we did that. So it's really, something that was really passionate and passionate about. So we give a proportion of the proceeds from the subscriptions that I mentioned earlier back to the content creators. So as when you put your content on YouTube, you get certain pennies per view or whatever like that. And Nishaani does the same. But what it does is significantly more. So when a content creator comes on Nishaani, it costs them nothing. We don't charge them any fees, there's no streaming costs to them, no fees at all to them. But Nishaani takes on those costs, but we also then give a proportion back to the content creators. And the reason we do that is so that they can continue doing what they're doing, so they can do more in the future. And, it's through them we will continue to learn, continue to be connected to Sikhi, and our youth will continue to be connected. So that's why we do that. And I think it's really important for the Sangha to realise that it is significantly more. Every time they watch something on Nishaani, they are supporting their content creators significantly more. One of our content creators gave an example that they have 50% viewership through Nishaani, so they have 7%. Sorry, I was completely wrong. 7% of their viewership is through Nishaani, and everything else is accountable through YouTube, SoundCloud, things like that. But 50% of their revenue is from Nishaani. So you can see the difference that just with that small proportion, it's actually giving them a great revenue. And I think if we can do this as a service through the small number of subscribers that we have at the moment, we have hundreds of subscribers at the moment worldwide. If we had thousands, what could we do? What could we do, but what could they do as well? And what could that do for our community? It's just mind-blowing what could happen. We wouldn't have to look to anybody else. We wouldn't have to look to other communities to support us. This would be then the stepping stone of what else then is possible within our community. And I think we've touched, when we were sort of discussing the podcast, we touched on the fact that sometimes, we have to go to outside groups and organizations and companies that are not aligned with Sikhi. And we wouldn't need to do that, because we could then turn to our own. Just a few months back, I was on social media and I was looking at some really talented individuals looking for funding for animations. And I was actually hurting inside. I was like, why? Why are they having to go on social media and ask for support? There shouldn't be that need. They should already know there are these organisations I can go to and I can say, guys, I have this idea. Can we get the funding? You know, and it should just be there.
Because that's what happens right now when people want to make a movie. They find a production company, they find a producer, they find the funding, the financial kind of people who can actually give them the money. And they tend to, like you said, not either align with our values or sometimes even anti-Bantic organisations. They end up funding the projects, but then they also own it. So anything that afterwards people are making off the top of, let's say there's a film about Guruji's 4 sons, that money's going directly into their pockets rather than the people who actually spent the time to do the research. And they can't make any more because that money's going to the production company and not our community, who can then now make more videos. So I think it's really important that we hone in on we need to be able to do this for ourselves.
I definitely agree, because we've seen some movies and people like, we're not going to watch these movies when they're Sikhi related just because a production company is not Sikhi, like the downfall of Sikhi. They said we're not going to watch it because we're funding them now. We're not going to watch the movie.
There are some pieces, like what it is we will, people will ask, how do you decide what content you put on Nishaani? And the content has to be Sikhi related and it has to align with our values and with Sikhi values. And I think that's important to say, that if things are not going to align, if production is not going to align, you're not going to find it on Nishaani for those reasons. So I think that's really, really important to us as well. And I think, not that I want to shout about it, but I think it is important for Sangha to know as well that we don't take any proportion of the subscriptions ourselves. We do this as a sewa. We have been doing that as a sewa from the very beginning for 3 years. So it's important for Sangha to know that everything that goes into the subscriptions is going back into Nishaani, or it's going to the content creators. So it's really important for them to know that, I think, because I think in this day and age where, every pound is important, every dollar is important for everybody, but that it is going to the right place, the right cause.
And I think, like you said, you mentioned the subscription as well and how much it is, but what I definitely will say to Sangha is that, we do sometimes spend a lot of money on all these different things, whether that's like you said with Netflix. A lot of people have accounts that don't even touch them for months. It's wherever we can give back and support, anyone that's doing anything for Sikhi, it's really important, because the amount that we support these kind of businesses now, it's like the future generation, they think, look, there's so much support going there, I can do this as well, I have an idea. So I think it's really important. I think that's where we kind of lack, but other communities, they do support each other a lot, and they do kind of promote each other and they help each other. We sometimes just think someone's doing something and we're not, it's never mind, we'll think about it in the future. But like you said, you're giving content creators a platform as well. So if there is anyone listening that wants to be on your platform, how can they get in touch with you?
So they can either visit the website. There's links on there where they can actually reach out to us, or they can reach out to us on the social media platforms we have, and so that's Instagram, and we are Nishaani is the handle for all of our social media and stuff like that. So you can reach out to us, and we'll definitely we welcome to have a chat and stuff like that. And so most of our content creators have come in that way. They've reached out and said, hey, I've got so and so, and would you be willing to have it on Nishaani? And so we have a conversation about it, and we sometimes have guided people into different ways of making content to help them and make it more interesting to the Sangha, because the last thing we wanted to make was a place where it's just a copy of YouTube. We wanted to make sure that it's a place where people can actually come in and enjoy and learn something. So anything like that, anybody.
Yeah, and it's high quality content that Sangha's going to see. It's really important that the Sangha that's subscribed is watching something high quality. So that's something that we will look at as well, making sure that we remain in a high quality, we remain having high quality content on Nishaani as well, so for Sangha to enjoy at home.
So to end with, our message will definitely be that anyone that has excuses, that they say that there's not enough, we don't know what to do, our kids are going on the wrong path, they're always on their phones, definitely would say join Nishaani, download their app, and get your kids on it. Like you said, there's something for everyone. You explained that. I think again, it's really important that we do support each other, because like you said, if we had 1,000 subscribers, where we could be, So I think it's really important that we all do support. We definitely learn a lot, because I think it's quite inspiring, because not only just because of like the platform itself, like you're saying, that you get inspired by the content, but also the fact, like you said, Baji, that if you have something that you're good at, you can be the next Netflix or whatever that is. Like, there's no limits, we just have to do it. But hopefully we all work together and can support each other, because that's also important to hopefully some that see this podcast and they join Nishaani in the support, because like you said, it's a way of doing prachar, and like you said, all those content creators, they're doing this in their free time, and we should support each other. But is there any like last message that you would give to like the youth that have the idea but they're just not sure, like do we go for it, like any last message to them?
I mean, for myself personally, I'd say just do it. Like, go through your idea and actually just execute on what you want to do. You're going to make mistakes. Just try, and whenever you make those mistakes, learn from them and just pick yourself up and start carry on.
Benji, any message to the youth or anyone, any singers listening to the podcast?
Yeah, I think I think similarly on the same sort of line as what Kaurfoundations said. If you have an idea, investigate it, see how you can make it happen. Life is never about what you think, where you want to be. I always thought I wanted to be a pharmacist forever, but Guru Sahib has his way of directing you, and they will find a ways, they will support you, they will bring people into your life that will literally change it. If you think that you can't do something, you just do ardas to Mala Sahib, and Guruji will bring whoever needs to come into your life. You have everything you need right now in order to achieve, and Guru Sahib will bring more and more to you as you ask Guru Sahib, because that's such a dil ardas, that's what you need to do, and you can succeed in anything. In my journey so far with Nishaani, it's just been fantastic. Some of the things I thought I couldn't do a couple of years ago, I'm doing without worry, and that isn't because I'm stronger, it's because Guru Sahib has brought those people into my life that have strengthened me, that have supported me, that have cheerleaded me. I didn't have a clue about social media, and I'm the only person that does the social media. A couple of months back, I think, Kaurfoundations said to me, I really need you, Ben, to speak to all the content creators. And I said, right? I said, no, I can't do it. And now I'm speaking to everybody, and I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to say. It's just rolling off the tongue. So Guru Sahib brings the strength to you. You just need to turn to them, and they will guide you. Just go and do it. Follow your passion, follow your dream. Anything is possible because you have Guru Sahib with you, and I think that's the ultimate thing there. So there was one binti that we had to Sangat, and that is if they can subscribe. Basically, we have so much in store for Nishaani in the future, and one of our number one goals is to bring the Sangat TV apps, so that Nishaani is an app on your smart TV, right next to Netflix, right next to Disney Plus on your TV. So you don't need to, mirror it from your phone. You've got it there, accessible, right next to everybody else. And we have calculated that we can achieve this if we have 10,000 subscribers. I know I said earlier we've only got a couple of hundred at the moment, but we know the strength of the Panth, we know the strength of our community, we know that we can get there. If we hit 10,000 subscribers, we have the ability, the strength, the funding that we need in order to develop the apps from the ground up as well. So this isn't anybody else doing it. This is us, Kaurfoundations heading that way and developing those apps, bringing the accessibility that the Sangat really does need. A lot of Gursikhs have said to us, you need the TV apps. A lot of Sangat have said to us, you need the TV apps. It's going to really improve. It's going to improve it for particularly our mature generation as well. It's going to be so much easier for them. So in order for us to achieve that, we need 10,000 subscribers. If Sangat can find it, in any way, shape or form, they can subscribe themselves. If they can let their family and friends know as well, we would really, really appreciate that. We have 3 main goals, and that is obviously to gain more subscribers. Secondly, to bring you more content creators. So the more Nishaani succeeds, the more the Sangat knows about it, more content creators are going to realize, this is a valuable resource for our community, for our youth, for our whole community, and they will then come on board as well. So we're going to bring you more and more content creators. We've already got so many lined up for you this year. It's so exciting. And then also we're going to also be looking into more exclusive content as well. So we're going to create more things from scratch. There's going to be more Jap and Jas coming, more Jap and Jas animations, longer length animations as well. We're going to touch on how we can holistically improve our community's lives. So whether that is from a health perspective, whether that's from a mental health perspective, we're going to be improving the amount of content that you can actually view. So we have a lot of goals. We can't do these things without Sangat support, without Guru Sahib's support. We've had that so far, and we would just ask for more.
Hanji. No, thank you, Paji and Benji, for coming on the podcast today, taking your time out. I know you're busy with everything, but you came down and sat with us, and we hope that everyone kind of got a better idea of who Nishaani is, and we definitely got a better idea, and we'll link everything as well. So if anyone's listening that wants to support in any way, definitely do that. But to end with, we'll just do Fateh.